Okay, guys, here's the deal with cost. I love having cost conversations. So I'm going to tell you really quickly. I'm actually going to role play it really quickly. We have call recordings on this. We have an actual role play of this. We have a script of this, but I need it to be ingrained in your heads if cost is an issue for you. Some of you rock out some President's Packs and some 30 days and you don't have anyone question, but I promise you at some point you will. So it's important to know this because it works. That's why we call it the strategy. So a few of you didn't know what it was, and that is perfectly fine. Some of you, I think, probably know it, but maybe don't do it quite correctly. So there's no rule here. You don't have to use it, but I will tell you that when I learned it, my business completely changed. Nobody has a cost objection with me anymore, and it has to do with confidence, and it has to do with having a conversation. So here's how it goes. Okay, someone's interested, and they're asking you information, and you have already asked them their goal. Hopefully, that's the first thing you always say to somebody is you say, well, what is piquing your interest? What's your actual goal? And dig deep, because if someone's just telling you they want to lose 30 pounds, why do they want to lose 30 pounds? Maybe it's so that they can run on the soccer field with their kid, whatever it is. Just make sure that you really dig deep so that you can turn back around to it later on when cost becomes an issue, should it become an issue. So they ask the famous question, how much does it cost? There's 3 questions that you need to ask. 3. Memorize the 3 questions. It's just a conversation. It's not something to stress about or have to memorize a script. But if you memorize it a little bit, it becomes second nature and it just weaves into the conversation. So the first question you want to ask is, if you were going to replace 2 meals a day, what meals would they be? And this is helping them understand that they're replacing meals. This isn't an addition for most people. Men, maybe a little bit different. Maybe they're doing that in addition to their meals. So whatever their answer is, they could tell you lunch and dinner if they want to. Just celebrate it, say that's great. Most people are probably going to tell you breakfast and lunch because they want to have dinner with their family, and that's perfect. That's what we do in our family. So say, great, sounds great. On average, what are you usually eating for those 2 meals that you're going to replace? They're going to tell you what they're eating for breakfast. They're going to tell you what they're eating for dinner or for lunch, whatever they pick. And that's also going to give you a kind of a good idea of what their eating habits are as well. So based on that, you go back and you say, okay, based on those 2 meals that you're eating, that we're talking about here that you're going to replace, what do you think you're probably on average spending per day on those 2 meals? And some people will probably come out and they'll be able to answer it immediately. You might have to help them because not many people have to do that math. And that's why it's important to go through these questions. And so they have to do the math because many people are lazy and they're not going to do the math. So that's why I don't like saying it breaks down to $11 to $12 a day because they still have to do the math in their head. This is forcing them to do it. So you're asking them what they are already spending. This is where in your head you start to pay attention to what they're saying because they're giving you their budget. If they're telling you that they're eating out lunch every day and they're telling you they're spending maybe $15 a day, then in your head you know that a President's Pack breaks down to $20 a day. And you know a 30-day breaks down to $10 to $12 a day. And so you can go wherever you want with that. Where I would suggest you go is that you lead with the President's Pack and you say, well, for $5 more a day, you could have an amazing accelerated pack that has all the extras and is proven to give the best results. And if you're talking to someone who is a business builder or wants to earn income, that is the pack that you want to come in on because it duplicates and it has bigger BV and bigger volume and bigger money associated with it. Or you can scale down from what you're currently spending and get our starter pack, which is the 30-day pack, and then you can explain what comes in that. For people who come out and say $5 a day, which I hear a lot because a lot of times people have leftovers or they're on a budget, whatever it is. This is where you have to go back to that initial goal that you asked about. So if they told you that they wanted to lose 20 pounds, they had horrible GI issues, high blood pressure, you name it. That's where you go back and say, well, I can tell you that our starter pack is a little bit more than what you're spending a day. But are you willing to spend maybe $6, $7 more a day for your first 30 days in order to reach those goals that you were telling me about? Your first 30 days. and there's a money back guarantee. And after your first 30 days, you can easily scale back to your $5 a day. So are you willing to invest a little bit more money in order to reach those goals that you're so passionate about? Most people are not going to tell you no. The worst case scenarios, they're going to tell you, I do want to do that, but I need to save up the money because I have to pay it all at once. It's not a daily payment. And so that is really the worst case scenario that I've ever heard. And what I love about this strategy is that it's a conversation. It's not throwing out it's $380 a month. It's not throwing out it's $11 to $12 a day. For some people that works, but for a lot of people, and especially the people that I'm talking to, it doesn't work very often because they're very money conscious. And I need to have that conversation with them to understand that they're probably already spending this money. So if you can get to that level with people and really have that conversation, then they will respect you for it, they will relate, and at the end, usually they end up enrolling. So I hope this was helpful. And don't you love my non-makeup? Tried to go to the gym this morning, but it was closed look. Good luck.